not, it's not ideal, but that's what camping's all about. It's ideal, but not completely ideal. So this is yoga in a small space. For those of you who love camper vans and love camping and love yoga at the same time. Yeah, Marlene, here you are. This little platform is actually smaller than my yoga mat, so I'm not going to go out of this little platform here, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see. You can always use the back, so you have to look around and decide what can you use. I've got some cushions, I've got my blanket. Yeah, here we go. If you'd like to come to a comfortable seated cross-legged position, rest your hands on your thighs and sit tall. As you sit tall, don't push too hard. If you push too hard, you might well find that you're overdoing. So you always have to be aware that you're not going, you're working but not working too hard. Lift the chest and just bring yourself to the breath. Allow the spine to go tall and breathe to the crown of your head. Release across the shoulders. Release the breath into the sides of the chest. Allowing the diaphragm to widen. Let the eyes release deeply, as if they're resting down upon the cheeks. And then from the nape of the neck, release the head down, lengthening the back of the neck. Open the eyes and raise the head up. Okay, so if you'd like to come to kneeling or change the cross of the legs, in fact we all change the cross of the legs first of all, and go tall again. Take the arms out to the side, turn the palms up and raise the arms up. Stretch up tall, and then again let the breath come up into the ribs. And if you find that sitting cross-legs is a little too much and you do happen to have a camper van behind you or a chair, you can always sit up on the chair. Lower the arms down and out to the side without bashing the sides of the van. Now you've got a choice. You can go back to the first cross the legs, or you can come to kneeling. So I'm going to sit upon my heels, my knees are together, and then I'm going to raise my arms up again, forwards this time. Now when we think about lifting the chest, we often think about just throwing the front of the chest forwards. But lift the back of the chest, so with your thumbs, stretch the thumbs up and feel that you're lifting the back of the chest up as well. It might feel like the arms are being thrown forwards just a little, so just be aware of that, and then lengthen through the baby finger side of the arms too. Palms are facing each other. And then lower the arms down. Sit upright. Now those of you that can, you can now separate the feet and sit down between your feet, but that's not always possible. So here I have a handy pillow. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put that between my feet. Now I'm putting it widthways because that's going to give me a little bit more height there. Okay? Otherwise, what you can do is you can put it long ways, but you don't want to feel like you're on a wonky perch. So you can either sit like so. Or those of you that can sit down between the feet. Or you can still sit cross legs, and remember you can always sit up on something. So if you're in the caravan or in the camper van, sit up on the seat and just bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. Gomukhasana. This is just some nice shoulder exercises. So it's the bind behind the back. And then again, just make sure that you're sitting well on your buttock bones and you're not putting too much effort to push your chest forwards. So you don't want all the effort to come from the spine the whole time. You want to feel wide as well as tall. And then release. Second side. Breathe, relax the eyes, release the tongue, being aware that the shoulders feel broad and you're not feeling like the stretch is too much across the shoulders, so be kind to yourself. And then release. Go back to the first side. Now just pay attention to the legs. If you're sitting in Virasana, same as I am here, then just make sure that the very tops of your thighs feel soft and that they're moving down. So they're not the area that's holding your pose up. And then the second side. Keeping length on the sides of the chest. And then release. Let's just gently straighten these legs out and dog head down. So come forwards and step yourself back. Now I've got a very narrow dog head down here. So spread the fingers. We're on all fours at the moment. Tuck the toes under and then lift the hips up. Now think about the tops of the thighs going up and back. So you're lifting the pelvis up high. Tighten the kneecaps and then just start to lengthen down. So the heels, they go down, but don't get so caught up in the heels that you lose the action of the legs. Press down into the hands and get a nice stretch and feel or be aware of the back of the neck. And if you're aware of the back of the neck, notice whether it's holding tight. So if you feel like there's a tight sensation, just let the crown of the head release down towards the floor and release any of that driving tension away. Widen across the shoulders and pin the outer arms in. So it feels like the arms are supporting the lift of the trunk, encouraging the lift of the trunk. And then lengthen the sides of the waist. Alice, that one's for you. Lift the very tops of the hips up and back like you're trying to hotch them over your heels. And then allow the weight of the pelvis, the weight of the legs to encourage the heels to descend, but don't force them down from the feet. So that as you look at the fronts of the ankles, they look very soft and as wrinkle-free as they can possibly be. And then come back down onto all fours for Chaturangasana. So lengthen the toes away, press down into the hands, widen the shoulders, move the tops of the thighs away from the armpits and the armpits away from the tops of the thighs, and allow the crown of the head to go away from the hips so the spine is long. And then you can bring the legs back together and sit back down on your heels. And now we're going to try some standing poses in our limited space. So let's go via dog head down into Uttanasana, forward bend. Now that might not, if you've been driving a lot, it might not be a position that you want to do immediately. So you can either walk your hands back into a regular forward bend. Oh, bottom's getting stopped by the door there. So I've walked my feet forwards a little as well, accommodating my small space. Now I'm going to hold the elbows because I know that I'm comfortable hanging here like this. However, if that's not the case, see? If that's not the case, then you can turn and you could do a forward. Say we've got a countertop, you could put your hands on the countertop or here. Now I'm not sure whether you'd see me, but I'm just going to jump inside the camper van and I can do my forward bend here. So I've got my hands on the sofa, my feet are gently spreading on the mat, my kneecaps are lifted, and as I drop my elbows down to the seat I can feel my hamstrings lengthening, and I can walk my hands back and then everybody can come back up to standing. So you have to be aware of what's going on around you. So I've got my hands, so now everybody come to standing. I don't know, if you're in a tent you may not be able to stand up straight. And if that's the case, you could do Stambhasana, which is on the knees and stretching the arms down in your Tadasana. Make sure your feet are going back directly. So this is Stambhasana. Okay. So I'm standing in Tadasana now. I don't recommend jumping in a small space. So I would take my feet apart, spread out the toes and lift the kneecaps. We're going to do Trikonasana to the right side. So I'm going to turn my left toes in a little, whole of the right leg out to 90 degrees, and my hand is coming onto the edge of the camper van here. I'm not taking this arm up, but I'm lengthening. So know that this is being filmed on a slight angle, so you're not going to be able to see the whole pose. You can always go back to one of the other videos. Breath smooth, thighs drawn up, and I'm going to look up because it's comfortable on the neck because I've got enough turn. Then pressing into the back foot, inhale, come up, feet face forwards. Second side, right toes turn in a little, keeping those toes nice and long, whole of the left leg out to 90 degrees so that the knee is facing over the centre of the foot there. Exhale, go down. It's actually very nice to be able to take the pressure off having to do a whole pose. Kneecaps lifted, thighs turned well, chest open. And then inhale, come up and bring the feet to face forwards. Stretch your arms out, again making sure that you're not clobbering anything. Legs together. Stand tall, or Stambhasana. So let's say that it's a little bit lower here. So I can't stand tall. I can always come back to just being in the wide leg stance. And the legs can be broad, thighs are lifted and the feet are coming forwards. Utthita Hasta Padasana. Get the thighs to move back so you're not pushing, so it doesn't feel like the lumbar spine is pushing forwards. Let's do sideways stretch. Utthita Parshvakonasana. Left foot in a little, whole of the right leg out to 90 degrees, and again it's modified. So the leg is going to bend and I can place my hand, might even want to move in a bit, place my hand back to the camper, rest my hand on the thigh or elbow, and then bring the arm over the head. So this is nothing new, but we're just thinking about the small space and what we can do in here. It's really where your mind's at. So bring your mind now into the back foot. Spread the back foot out and press it flat or straight down to the floor, lifting the arch. And then stretch through to that top arm. And encourage the buttock muscles to move towards the midline of the pose. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up, straighten the leg, and change to the other side. Right toes in a little, whole of the left leg out. Exhale, bend the leg, rest the elbow on the thigh, and then bring the arm over the head. Back foot long. If this doesn't work, if the arm doesn't come over the head, that's fine. You can stretch it away from you like this, or you can place the hand to the waist. Breathe. Move the buttocks towards the midline. Open up the front of the thighs. Open up the inner groins, the inner leg groins. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards. Stretch the arms out to widen the chest. And then exhale, lower the arms. Maybe stand up, or maybe carefully sit yourself down, either to here or back down on the floor. So we're in this very tiny space. We're going to do Janu Shirshasana. You can sit yourself up on a cushion. And you're going to bend your right leg out to the side. So this is where it starts to get a little trickier, because you're going, I haven't got the room. I can move right up to the edge here. Try not to fall off my perch. So it might be that you might have a seat here. If you're in Brian the camper van, you might have, Brian the caravan even, you might have a little limited space. So again, you modify the leg. Make sure that this foot, the bent leg foot, is soft, and then you can turn yourself towards the straight leg. Now at this point you might be able to reach your foot, or you might not. Now I haven't got a belt with me, so I have to improvise. So I'm going to take the edge of my blanket and wrap that around my foot. And I can sit tall, because we don't want to, when we're living in a smaller space, often we need to lift up and stretch out rather than compact ourselves down too much. So now you've become aware and you feel whether that feels good. And if it feels good and you want to go forwards, go forwards. But if it feels nice just sitting up like this, then you can just sit up straight. Just looking at the leg work, feeling the leg work, observing what's going on there. Those of you that wish to go forwards, lift the chest up. Take the gaze up because it encourages a lift through the front of the body. Take the awareness once you're up into the buttock bones to keep them connected so you're not ungrounding your base. And then exhale, fold forwards over that straight leg. Bringing the hands to bind. Lifting the elbows. So we're keeping space on the front of the body. Don't shorten the body here. Inhale, look forwards. Lift up. And then straighten your right leg forwards. So I'm pretending that there is a seat here. So I'm going to hotch myself now over to the other side. Bending back my left leg. Keeps surprising me, that door. Oh my goodness. If there's a seat there, I've just stuck my knee through it. There we go. So you can see I've had to tuck this foot under now. But I'm asking, first of all I ask myself, does that knee feel comfortable? I ask myself, does this leg feel comfortable? And if it does, then I can carry on. If it doesn't, I'll adjust. But for me the answer is yes, it's okay. It might be that you need to sit yourself up on a higher height. I'm using the blanket again. So this is my slightly tighter side. I've just realised my elbow would have gone through the invisible seat. So you lift the elbows up or bring them in. And then exhale, fold forwards, keeping the buttock bones happily grounded. Relax the eyes, release the tongue, exhale, allow yourself to go down. Breathe. And then inhale, come up. Hold tall. And then release. Stretch the legs forwards. Sit in Dandasana. So that's just sitting up straight. Fingertips either side of your hips. And let the spine feel as if from the lower back it's feeling long. Shouldn't be working too hard. Grip the legs together. Breathe. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away. Just a quick stretch up and lengthen up. Lower the arms down. Change the interlace, push the palms away, and up you go again. Lower the arms down. Okay? Last pose is how do we get our legs upside down? Well, I shall show you. I'm going to spin around, and because it's such a small space, spin around like that. Okay, so if I was in the camper van, this is what I'd do. I'd just come in here, lie on my side. Oh, look at that. If you've got a Westphalia, you may not be able to make toast, but you've got a nice resting place for the back and for the legs. Please be aware that you have this open side here. And what that can also be then, is you can hold the legs up straight here. Alright? But because you can't see me, please don't go falling out of the door. This is a bit safer because I'm already on the floor. Got a pillow for my head. Also, if you find it hard to lift the legs up to 90 degrees, don't do this if your back is aching. Just lie with your legs bent, hands on the tummy, breathing here. Okay? I've got a bit of draft coming this way. So I'm going to open the blanket up. So there we go, my legs are now warm, and a British typical summer. You need to be dressed for all the seasons. My legs are now up in the air and I can hold them. And if the legs need extra support, you can pull that blanket a little bit tighter and hold it a little tighter around the backs of the legs there. You can use the blanket as a prop. Big toes are together, toes are spread out. Viparita Karani without a wall. If it's a nice day and you know that the door up there is locked, so say we can just move outside just for a moment. What I would do is I would take my blanket and I'd put it on the grass, making sure no dogs have been near the wheel. And I might disappear out of view, but I'm hoping you'll see my legs. Okay? That's another idea. So you've got to get a bit creative. And then when you're ready, you can take relaxation. So it might be relaxation with bent legs, which I shall do because I'm in my little small space. And also I'll have my hands resting on my tummy. Maybe I've disappeared out of view again, I don't know. And just take a few moments here just to relax and breathe. The abdomen gently rises and falls. And when the abdomen falls on the exhalation, release the cells, the tissues of the body. Particularly relax the face, the lips and the eyes. Relax the shoulders and the neck. Release the back of the chest. Relax the back of the waist. Release and relax the groins and the hips and the buttocks. Relax the hamstrings and the thighs. Relax the knees and the backs of the knees. The calves and the soles of the feet. Relax the body completely. And observe the breath. And observe when tension sneaks back in. Relax those areas again. When you're ready to get up, carefully go to your side. And sit yourself up. Sit tall. Breathe smoothly. Bow the head. Open the eyes. And raise up the face. Thank you. It's a little different, wasn't it?